Quick pregame show. I have not watched anything because of the aforementioned busyness. In fact, I have two things that I probably need to watch before Tuesday, which is when they're due back over to Scarecrow Video. But I have been doing some reading, which is something that you can do when you don't have electricity around you. And this is one of the reasons why I will always advocate for the print copy over the e-reader, because that is something that will sustain when the power's out, or that will remain. It will sustain you, and it will remain available when the power goes out. Things I have been reading. I took a trip over to Bainbridge Island over the weekend, which is very nice, very very natural, naturally preserved. A lot of trees, and sort of very bucolic, pastoral drives out there. And did some shopping at their bookstore, and decided to pick up something that is a little outside of my normal stomping grounds. So I went over to poetry. That, of course, is not unusual, and picked up this. Rena Priest is the is the Washington State Poet Laureate, and I thought, you know what, this is relevant to me in my current situation. So I picked up one of her books, and I've been reading through it. I think two of these so far have really jumped out and grabbed me. There's a lot more of, I want to say, shifting tracks in terms of imagery than I'm used to, and so it takes me a few readings to sort of get my bearings on each individual poem. And it's a different kind of poetry that I'm used to reading, and a different kind of poetry than I write, and that is always challenging and immensely beneficial to sort of get out of your sort of normal range of inspirations to find something new, and also to find a new kind of poetry that your own work can be in correspondence with. One thing that she does, which is really neat, this is a formatting thing, and not necessarily and I mean, actually it is a poetic thing, because it's kind of the concrete nature of the poem, is each footnote. There are sections of poems, one or two lines, that are not in English, and rather than have an asterisk next to it and a line in the bottom where it gives you the translation, I don't know if you can see this right there, it gives you the translation in a little a little vertical 90-degree oriented translation in English. So instead of a footnote, you'll have that. Where's another example? There we go, yeah. So here's another one. You can kind of see it sort of doubles up on the lines like that. And that's a very nice feature of this. And it's something that it is a concrete quality of the poems that I find inspirational in a way that I don't quite know what that'll turn into. But I look forward to it. I also picked this up by Ruth Ozeki, titled The Book of Form and Emptiness. It is a novel about a boy who perceives objects in terms of tones, and I don't know if this is he hears music from objects or what, but it starts out with a very very moving and actually kind of appropriate for Father's Day, or ironic for Father's Day rather, opening where the boy's father dies, and it's about his sort of processing that experience. So I'm looking forward to reading that, and that's quite good. And the other project that I've embarked on is Purgatory, which I'm fascinated by. I love Dante's Commedia. Here is Jean Hollander and Robert Hollander. I'm more familiar with Robert Hollander's works, but Jean is his wife. The Hollander's translation of Dante's Purgatorio. I've read this several years ago, and I'm going back through it, and this time decided to pair it with a deeper understanding of what purgatory was in the medieval period. I have this book here by Jacques Le Goff, which is titled The Birth of Purgatory, and it is about the development of the concept of purgatory from the beginning of Christendom through its adoption as doctrine in the 12th century, specifying it as an afterlife station that is also physically present on Earth. Excuse me. And this is something that you encounter in the Commedia. Hell and heaven are both spatially distinct, one below, one above, as you have. But they're also sort of more spiritual dimensions. There's they're states that you're in, and purgatory is actually described more specifically, kind of leans harder on the fact that it is an earthly physical location, rather than what the Catholic Church currently holds in its doctrine, which is that it's kind of a state or a condition that the soul is in after passing. And so yeah, so that's the medieval concept of it, and I've got a couple of other books coming in. One is St. Patrick's Vision of St. Patrick's Purgatory. It is a vision. It is vision literature about a place called St. Patrick's Purgatory, which was supposed to be an entrance to the actual purgatory that was in Ireland. It's a tourist location now, and another medieval kind of vision work about somebody who located that entrance or an entrance to purgatory. So I look forward to seeing how that unfolds. But with that done, we can jump into Monkey Island and